Hi dear students, hope all are doing well. So this is the third video of MMPC 001 block number 1 and this is the last video of 2021 too. Okay, so in this video we are going to discuss the important top management theories, that is modern theory, classical theory, neoclassical theory, etc. Before getting into the video, we have already discussed with you regarding the online classes as well as the recorded classes providing through our channel. Okay, so those who want to be a part of this, please join our Telegram group. The link will be provided in the description box. And one more thing to add up, last week we have started one free section for all the theory papers of first semester MBA program, and if you want to be a part of it, please join our Telegram channel, right? Okay, so if you feel the contents are helpful, please like, share and subscribe the channel, and a big thank you for all of you from our side for completing 100 subscribers. Last week we have crossed that margin, and big thank you and a great sense of gratitude to you all for your support and encouragement that are providing to us, and that is motivating us to make more videos in future too. So with this happy and positive note, let's get started, right? So let's look into the evolution of management theory. So the evolution of management theory, we have three phases. The first phase is from 1880 to 1930, and that is known as classical management school or traditional theory. Okay, so under classical management school we have scientific management theory, administrative theory, then bureaucratic theory. Scientific management theory by F.W. Taylor, administrative theory by Henry Fayol, and bureaucratic theory by Max Weber, right? Then comes the neoclassical theory. Neoclassical theory that is from 1920 to 1950. So that the approaches is known as human relation approach, or the human relation movement have started from 1920 onwards. So there are two theories coming under neoclassical school, that is human relations theory as well as the behavioral theory. Human relations theory was focusing on interpersonal relationship, and behavioral theory is focusing more on improving the group relations that are existing in an organization. So they are focusing on motivation, communication, and through that organization can improvise itself and increase its effectiveness. Okay, in scientific management theory, that is focusing on the efficiency of lower level management. So that is, by making your lower level efficient, you can improve the organization effectiveness. In the administrative theory, that is focusing on making the higher level or the administrative level efficient. Bureaucratic theory is a rational method. They are focusing on the upliftment of all levels of the organization along with the career orientation, right? Then the modern management school, that has from 1960 onwards. So there are two important theories coming under modern management school, that is system approach and contingency approach. System approach says that an organization consists of different subsystems, and these subsystems are interrelated or dependent. Okay, contingency theory state that there is no common rule or no common strategy that stand tall at all situations, right? So these are the important management theories. Then we will discuss the all these theories, that is classical management school, scientific, administrative, bureaucratic, in detailed manner in the upcoming slide, right? So let's look into the main proponents of general management theory. So we already discussed about scientific management theory by F.W. Taylor, and he focused on time and motion study for putting forward his principles. And differential piece rate plan, that is one of the main takeaway from F.W. Taylor's scientific management theory, right? Then Henry Fayol, 14 principles of management, that is administrative theory. So here he focused on planning, organizing, commanding, controlling, and controlling as well as coordinating. We discussed about these 5 functions of management in a detailed manner in the first 2 sessions, right? So next is Max Weber's bureaucratic theory, and it was focused on division of labor, formal structure, and management by roles. And Alton Mayo, he is the man behind human relations movement, and he focused on the psychological and sociological aspects, and through the psychological and social upliftment of the human beings working in an organization, and through that an organization can make a more effective. Okay, so that is coming under Elton Mayo's human relations approach, right? So let's look into the next scientific management theory in a detailed manner, right? So let's look into the scientific management theory. So it was proposed by F.W. Taylor. So according to F.W. Taylor, scientific management is the art of knowing exactly what you want your men to do and how they will do it in the best manner as well as in the cheapest manner. So three things have to be achieved. That is, first is the maximization of profit, maximization of productivity, as well as the cost minimization. So using the best method, you have to achieve the maximum result. So for that, scientific management is the best one. So it is a thoughtful, organized, dual approach towards the job. So let's look into the principles of scientific management. So here the rule of thumb was replaced by development of science for each element of a man's work. That means that whatever works or task happening in an organization should be observed, analyzed, and every element and part and time involved in should be analyzed properly, and there should be a proper method of inquiry, investigation, data collection, analysis, rules framing, regulations, like that in the case of scientific experiments, right? So under scientific management, every decisions management is taking on the basis of fact, okay, and the application of scientific decisions. So that is development of science for each part of men's job, replacement of rule of thumb. So that's the first principle. Let's look into the second principle. Second principle is selection, training, and development of workers. So there should be a scientifically designed procedure for the selection of workers, and physical, mental, and other requirements should be specified for each job, and on that basis, on the basis of the qualification, purely on the scientific basis of selection, employees are getting inducted into an organization. So that's the second principle. Third principle is cooperation between management and workers. So there should be a harmony. There should not be a place for discord. That is, everyone who is working in an organization are working towards the attainment of a common goal. They should work in a harmonious manner. So that's the third principle. And the fourth principle is division of responsibility. Each and every one should be responsible for their job, and each job, all the jobs can't be controlled under one manager, right? So the division of responsibility should be delegated in a proper manner, and there should, in that delegation also, the organization has to follow a scientific way, right? So that is these all are the important principles that are coming under scientific management theory, right? So let's look into the contribution of scientific management theory. It is the foundation stone of modern management theory. It helps in the production increase, minimization of the cost. Then along with that, it brings a change in the attitude of the employees for greater economic prosperity, the training and development of workers. It's a rational method. So these are some of the contribution of scientific management: increasing production, developing workers' efficiency, minimization of the cost of production, greater economic prosperity, training and development of the employees, as well as it is a rational method to solve the management problems, right? So these all are important points. We discussed what you mean by scientific management theory, what are the principles of scientific management theory, what are the contribution of scientific management theory, right? So let's look into Max Weber's principle of bureaucratic theory. So this theory is coming under classical management theory. So bureaucratic theory is focusing on job specialization, that is work should be divided into simple, routine and well defined task, and then hierarchy, that is another one. The positions and the people are organized in the organization depending upon the hierarchy. There should be a formal selection that is based on merit, and rules and regulations should be formalized, and it should be applicable to each and everyone who is working in the organization without any bias, okay, without any bias of grade, religion, sex or creed, like that. Then impersonality, that is superiors should take each and every subordinates needs and wants in an equal and fair manner. Then career orientation, managers should be updated with or upgraded with the skills, and they should be provided with development programs, and that should be helpful for organization in future too. So that's all important takeaway from principles of bureaucratic theory by Max Weber, right? So let's look into Elton Mayo's human relation approach. So we are starting the neoclassical approach. So neoclassical approach uh, is focusing on human relations, and it is considering the social and psychological aspects of human beings who are working in an organization, right? So this human relation approach is based on a study carried out by Elton Mayo and his team at Western Electric's Hawthorne plant. Okay, so as a part of the study, they examined the impact of illuminational level on the workers' productivity, and they have conducted experiments, and that is in 4 phases, and they were illumination experiment, relay assembly test room experiment, interview phase, bank wiring observation, room experiment. So these are the different types of experiments they have carried out, so that they will get to know how the human relations are affecting in an organization, what is the impact of interpersonal relationship on the productivity of an organization and or the structure of an organization, right? So these are some of the main features of Elton Mayo's human relation approach. They are: the management is getting the things done through and with the people, okay, so they have to focus more on the human behavior in all respects. So that's the first feature. Second one, managers must study the interpersonal relationship. So they have to focus on the interpersonal relationship prevailing in an organization, right? That is the second feature. Third feature is that large production and higher motivation can be achieved. So if an organization want to achieve higher production, higher motivation, then it can be possible only through the maintaining of good human relation. Then it is an interdisciplinary approach. Here the human relation approach, they are using the principles and concept of different behavioral science like psychology as well as sociology, right? So these are the main features of Elton Mayo's human relations approach. So this is McGregor's theory X and Y. Actually this theory is coming under motivational theories. So here McGregor is explaining two categories of managers depending upon their perceptions or their beliefs about the subordinates working under them. So according to theory X managers, they believe that the subordinates are lazy, they avoid work, they have to be controlled, they avoid responsibility, they are self-centered, they are focused only on their goals, they don't want to meet the organizational goal. If they are doing something, that is only to get away from the punishment, so they lack creativity. So these all are the perception of theory X manager, while theory Y managers consider subordinates as people who are self-disciplined, they are motivated, they are ready to take responsibility, they are ready to be a part of a bigger thing, and they are ready to subordinate their personal interest to the greater interest of the organization. They are committed to the objective and they have a higher level of creativity and imagination. So these are the two perception of theory X and Y. They are completely opposite to each other, right? So these theories we will discuss, these McGregor theory, Maslow's theory, Porter's theory, all these things we will discuss in a detailed manner in human resource management paper, that is MMPC 002, right? So these all are the important points you have to remember under management theories. Just a glance, that is classical management theory from 1880 to 1920, scientific management theory, Henry Fayol administrative theory and bureaucracy theory by Max Weber, neoclassical theory, human relations and the behavioral approach, and then system and the contingency approach by the modern management theories, right? And the McGregor theory also included in your syllabus, right? So if you have any doubt regarding the subjects we discussed today, please put it in the comment box, we will get back to you. Okay, so that's all for the block 1. We will come with another video about the important topics of block number 2 in next week, that is by Jan 1st week, right? As we all are in the threshold of 2022, we have to go through our 2021, what all success you have created, what all failures you faced, you have to take an account of all these. Okay, so while taking the account or while visiting your past, just one thing you have to remember: celebrate your success, even if it is very small. Celebrate it gracefully and deliberate on your failures, and you should seek the courage to continue, right? So success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts a lot, and this quote has a great relevance in today's situation. So all of my students, you should have that courage to continue, and that counts a lot in the current situation, right? So a big thank you to all of you for being with us in this journey, for your encouragement and support, and we will hopefully meet with a new video in the first week of Jan 2022. So we will probably meet in the next year. Okay, so a happy new year and a prosperous and a blessed 2022 ahead for all of you. So stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy. Once again, a happy and a prosperous 2022 ahead. Thank you.